Excuse me, guys. Hello. Hi. Do you mind if I just ask you whether you're excited for Burt Williamson's stand-up comedy special tonight? Are you guys excited for the stand-up comedy special by Burt Williamson today?
No.
Have you heard of Burt Williamson?
No, I haven't.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know who Burt Williamson is? But you don't know who Burt Williamson is?
Not know.
No, he doesn't have the accent, but he does try really hard. The comedian doing it, Burt Williamson, is very popular. That's a bit of a security risk. I'm wondering whether you guys have prepared for that. People are literally crossing the road to get away from me. Do you like comedy?
Yeah.
But you don't know Burt Williamson. Burt Williamson.
I don't know what that is.
You've met me now,
I have met you now.
but you still don't know who I am.
No.
It's a bit dead today, isn't it? I just wonder whether you're willing to answer like a couple of quick questions. Let's go, Kings. There's definitely going to be someone that knows me there. Excuse me, guys.
You stupid.
Hello, guys. Like a comedy fan living in Bristol would have probably heard of him, and you haven't. Yeah, no, I'm trying to record it, but no one knows who I am. No, you spelt my name wrong. That's a different Burt Williams. The rapper will.i.am. No, the comedian Burt Williamson. No. I'm on Instagram, man. I'm at Burt Comedian. No, that's not me. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. I've never heard of him. But I've never heard of you either. I think he's black. I'm not. You say not anyone that has heard of me. No, I'm not coming on to you. I'm just trying to. It's influencers that have ruined this. Like stand up. Like stand up. What do you think holds me back? You know why have I bothered? There's no one heard of me in this city. How are tickets for tonight? People of Bristol, please welcome to the stage, me, Burt Williamson! Oh, you're too kind. Wow. We have peaked early. That's what's happened there. God, lovely to be in Bristol. Love filming my hours in Bristol. I'm from round here. It feels nice. I've ended up living just outside of Bristol in a small town called Thornbury, which is... You shouldn't cheer for it. It is... I don't mind it. It is just me and old people in Thornbury. That's what it is, me and old people. So much so when I walk round, I catch people looking at me going, oh, why is that pensioner smooth? What's his skincare routine? And I have to explain that it's an absence of time. The secret ingredient is youth. That's what I've got. Very nothingy place. You can tell it's a nothingy place by the way estate agents will describe it. They'll go, oh, no, Thornbury, no, it's amazing. It's got great transport links. Is that not a red flag? The best thing about this place is that it is easy to leave. Who don't like it when I make fun of where I'm from? People get quite proud, they're quite defensive. They go, oh, no, you shouldn't talk about it like that. You shouldn't talk about, you should make fun of where you're from like that. You know, my family, we've lived there for generations. But I think that is very much like gloating that you've been in an escape room for hours. It's the sort of place that gloats about past achievements, like on the big sign in, it goes historic market town. I realise, having travelled the UK, I'd never been to a market town that wasn't historic. None of them have a sign going, actually back in the day, our markets were shit. Be that, and then the other one is that it won Britain in bloom in 3 AD. Never letting that one go. My town is obsessed with Britain in bloom. It's the main thing. Every year an octogenarian knocks on my door going, this year we're doing Britain in bloom. And I'm like, must we bloom, Doris? Have we not bloomed enough? The last time British people were this obsessed with poppies, there was a war in China. It's not good. Semi-rural, where I'm from, like it is properly on the edge of the countryside, and it means that at the farmer's market, actual farmers will turn up, which is great. And, it's all organic, and they were like, oh, yeah, we made this ourselves. And you believe them because it is shit. 100% a machine was nowhere near this process. I got fairly late to the farmer's market one day, and all the other stalls, they'd all packed up, apart from this one guy that was selling bread, right? And he'd sold all of his loaves apart from one loaf, which he had left, that was covered in wasps. And I thought, oh, he's not a busy man. I'll go have a chat to him. I go, excuse me, sir, I notice your bread is covered in wasps. And he goes, yes. All the other bread sold first. I'm like, yes, that does make sense. No one is gunning for the wasp bread right away. Most people prefer their bread sans wasps, I've found. They want a wasp-free bread day to day. And he goes, no, you don't understand, mate. The wasps aren't for sale. And I was like, I'm not trying to buy wasps off you. You misunderstand. I'm just having a chat with you. And even if I wanted to buy the wasp bread off you, acknowledging that the wasps aren't for sale, to get the bread that you're allegedly selling me, I would have to get through 50 plus wasps. How would I even achieve this bread that is allegedly being sold here? And he goes, I don't know, that's your problem. And I was like, sell it to me, man. Is it good? What's going on? And he goes, I don't know why the wasps like it. That is where I am from. That is the vibe of the place. It's a two-supermarket town where I'm from. Tesco and Aldi. Go to Tesco more, not because I prefer it. I actually think Tesco's kind of pathetic. Because Tesco is obsessed with Aldi. They are, I don't know why. I don't know what happened in the 90s, whether Tesco made a sex tape. Aldi found out about it, they're threatening to put it out. At Tesco, I've never seen a supermarket gun for another supermarket that way. Like, whenever I go into Tesco, it's got the energy of like a partner that is always going on about your ex. Like, there's no self-confidence in it. Like, I will go in there and I'll pick out a nice little casserole. I'll go, oh yeah, thank you for that, Tesco, thanks for that. And then above it will be a sign that just goes, is it cheaper than Aldi's casserole? And I'd be like, I wasn't thinking about Aldi, Tesco. I chose you. Do you think about other supermarkets when you're inside me? Can you taste the difference? I'm a self-checkout guy myself. You like to use a self-checkout? So you're a self-checkout man? Yeah, it's good. Doesn't it feel good to take your life into your own hands? I'm so good at self-checkouts, man. By the time I'm done, the machine is begging for assistance. He's pleading, he's trying to come over there, the attendant is trying to come over. I'm like, no, get back. It's just me and the machine now. So self-checkout, not an us checkout. I will tell the machine when the bagging area is full. Doing this on my own terms. Little bitch, isn't it, the self-checkout? It is, it's a little bitch. It's trying to snitch on me, it's trying to get me in trouble. It's a little narc, isn't it? I don't like it, I don't respect it. It'd be like, oh no, oh no, oh no. He's buying too many paracetamol. Oh no, he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. Oh, no. Somebody please. I guarantee you, my suicide will cost more than £5. It's just getting jealous because I'd be committing the ultimate self-checkout. That's crap. It's crap, the self-checkout. That's why I'm not worried about AI. That's why I'm not bothered about that. People go, oh, AI is going to take everyone's jobs. The self-checkout. People said the same thing. There's a guy that looks after it. A new job has been created because the thing is shit. It'll be the same for AI. There'll be a guy going, yeah, that one's got 6 fingers as well. Yeah. That one's fucked. It's wild. I feel like Silicon Valley, they haven't solved the whole self-checkout thing, that technology is so bad, but AI is a thing. I feel like Silicon Valley have gone straight to pudding there. Like, solve the first thing. How can I live in a world simultaneously where these machines cannot scan shopping, but also the technology exists for me to auto-generate an image from nothing of what a white Mr. T would look like? It's weird that it's at the same time. I think the worst thing is at the end of the transaction, when you're using the self-checkout, there'll be an option where you press a button, it'll go, oh, like, would you like to round up for charity? No. Obviously not. No one is watching me. You're rich, Tesco. Would you like to round down for me? Maybe I'd do it if there's an option. When I did it, it would text all my mates, let the WhatsApp group know that today I put 32p on spondylosis. What are you guys doing? It's not even the end of the charity gauntlet at Tesco, is it, though? Because on the way out, you then get a blue token to give to a local charity of your choosing. Like you're some kind of feudal lord. Deciding which of the peasants you'll help that day. Tesco's there going, oh, my liege. The serfs, they require a new sensory play area. Well, I shall bequeath them that then, I shall. Let the kingdom know it was done in my name. But henceforth, the tarmac around swings shall be extra bouncy for the kingdom's additional needs. I'm not saying, like, it'd be two really good local charities. It'd be two great ones, but the last one will always be something insane that I've never heard of, that I'm not even sure how it is a charity. It'd be like two great ones, and the last one will be something mental, like scarves for chickens. And for whatever reason, that one is full to the brim every single time. People walking past, they're going, I want to see those chickens next. Whoa! I want to see those coops real cozy. Or maybe I'm approaching it wrong. Maybe they're walking past the other two good causes and thinking, do you know what, actually, fuck the disabled. Maybe I'm approaching it from the wrong angle. I don't need to think, by the way, obviously giving to charities is a great thing. I just don't like the idea that Tesco, like they're hustling it out of you on the way out, right? Feels more like they're taking rather than giving. I think charity should be given. I think it shouldn't be taken. It shouldn't be forced out of you for, like, they do it for PR. That's why Tesco does it, and a tax credit. So at the end of the year, they can go, oh, we've raised hundreds of millions for charity. They didn't. I did that. Pressing your shitty little button. I think for it to be charity, it should be given. You know, not taken. And I apply that to all areas. Like, I've got a friend, right, runs a marathon every year. Don't know why he does it. It feels like he's training for a crime. But he does it. And then this year, after having done that for 10 years, he goes, oh, this year I'm running a marathon for charity. I go, oh, is that the same one that you do every year? And he goes, yes. And I go, well, it's not for charity then, is it? You do that marathon every year. All that's happened is you've decided to make the fact that you run expensive for me. That's all that's happened. For it to be for charity, it needs to be something that he wasn't going to do anyway, right? If that same friend said to me, hey, Bert, would you like to sponsor me this year? I'm going to therapy. Absolutely, I'll put 50 quid on that, well done. Yeah, I'm investing in you becoming a better hang. That's what I'm doing. So you understand my logic, right? Like, giving to charity is good, but it needs to be for people that weren't going to do it anyway. How I do that, how I get around that is I go on a fantastic website called Just Giving. I find a cause that is close to my heart. I look that up, and then I'll find someone that is doing something that they absolutely should not be doing. Like, I'll look it up, and it'll be a cause I like, and it'll be like, oh yeah, Pete from Skegness is going to drink peach juice until he throws up. Yeah, 10 quid on that. 20 if you stream it. So I can look you in the eye and we can both know that we're doing a good thing. I think I'm in Tesco too much. I think that's fair to say. I spend too much time in there. Because I love food. I love food so much, man. I love it. Makes me feel good. I'm an emotional eater. That is to say that if I feel low in a given day, I will eat to make myself feel better. That's what I do, right? And for some people, emotional eaters, that can create a feedback loop where they feel low that they have eaten, and therefore they eat again, and therefore they feel low, they eat again, and that creates what is known as binge eating. I think I am unusual, though, that for me, the first step just works. So I might be feeling low in a given day, thinking, God, what am I doing? Why am I doing stand-up comedy? I've put my 20s on this, put my back into it, my 30s as well. Why am I feel like I'm squandering my life on my own vanity. I'm standing still while I'm running. All my friends are progressing onto these amazing careers. Where am I going? What am I doing with my life? And then I have a panini. I'm like, nah, I'm all right, actually. Turns out I was just hungry. That's all that was. Makes me less sympathetic now. I've got a friend who's going through a very, very difficult time. He's at the end of a long-term relationship, and I'm trying to be compassionate because he feels like he's lost his life partner in a moment, and I'm there, trying to console him as he mourns this future existence that he's lost. And I'm there, and in my head I'm thinking, have you not tried sausages? Love food, love it. That's why my weight's fluctuated throughout my life. I'm in a pretty good spot at the moment, I think. But it's gone up, it's gone down, and no one has commented on this more than my mum. My mum is a lovely person. I don't think my mum is nuts. She's really, really nice. She's out of everyone in the whole world, she has the most times called me handsome. Which is nice, right? The problem is she holds the same position for calling me fat. Never at the same time. She's never like, you're looking great, fatty. You're a lady killer, especially if you sit on them. Well, look, in my mum's defence, in the time she's known me, I've put on nearly 16 stone. It's a worrying trend when you think about it. What direction am I travelling in? No, I love foods. Love it. I think it's great. I wouldn't say I'm a foodie, though. I've got a friend who says, I'm a foodie. He goes, I'm a foodie. I don't like that term. Whenever my friend goes, I'm a foodie, I'm like, do you not know how we work? We're all foodies. Food goes in, you get to continue living. Of course you love doing that. That's the whole deal, right? Like, that keeps you alive. Of course you like it, right? When I've got buddy less at school, instead of going, I have asthma, I just wandered around going, I'm a breathy. I'm not having an attack, I'm having a rapid sampling session. That's just a quick artisanal huff, that's all that's happening. He goes, fine, but if you wouldn't call yourself a foodie, what about a gastrophile? I go, no, because that makes me sound like I fuck kebabs. And he didn't like that either. He goes, all gastro means is food, all phile means is love. And I'm like, yeah, I know that's what the ending of the word phile means, but I would argue the ending of the word phile has been ruined by a very particular group of people. Obviously not the worst thing they've done, but top two. I'm in a more positive space, I think, because of my weight. That's partly because of my new girlfriend. She's great. She's really, really supportive. She's a paralegal, which I'm not sure why they don't let her work with the regular lawyers. Feels cruel to separate her, but that's fine. But no, she's great. Like, she's been really supportive about my weight. Like, I put on a little bit of weight at the start of the relationship, which I'm not sure is what she meant when she said she'd like to see more of me. No, she's really, really nice. She's got this cat that hates me, though. This huge, lumbering mog. This big, amorphous feline unit. She doesn't like me describing it like that. She goes, surely, but you of all people should understand. She goes, oh, well, you shouldn't talk about him like that because he struggles with his weight. He struggles. He does not struggle. I struggle. I diet. I fail to diet. My self-esteem, it rises and it falls with the size of my waistline. I rebel against my body and I fail time and time again. I struggle. This cat does not struggle. He fucking loves it. I've never seen a living creature eat itself into the abyss. Commit suicide via IAMS. Until he IAMS not. Hates me, this cat, doesn't like me. I was around my girlfriend's and he was sat on my lap and he pissed on me. Yeah, and what you need to know about me is that I don't like that. That's not why I'd gone round. I wasn't going, God, I hope today's the day. Look, between me and you, my girlfriend and I, we aren't even at the point where she pisses on me. Although I imagine when that day comes, the cat will be at the edge of the bed, waiting, thinking, when's my turn? But no, the cat pissed on me. And, I like to think I've got away with words, so I react to that. I go, I hate this, that's what I say. I'm an articulate man, so I was going, I hate this, again and again, sort of covered in cat piss. It wasn't even the first time that this cat had pissed on me. It pissed on my stuff, pissed on my possessions, pissed in my pockets. He's a pocket pisser, this puss. Which, if I loved cat piss, would be a very convenient place for it to happen. Pisses on me, so I go, I hate this. That's what I say, I hate this. And, my girlfriend, she's trying to calm me down. She goes, no, the reason it's happened is because this cat, right, he has anxiety. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I found getting pissed on by cats is bad for my anxiety. And she explains it to me, she walks me through it, she goes, no, right, he's an anxious cat. He's felt very calm, he's felt very safe, very loved on your lap. He's got this big surge of emotion that he doesn't fully know how to process. That's led to him then panicking, urinating, and then fleeing. I was like, all right, that's good to know. I can now have that in the back pocket for me. If I ever piss myself, I can just run off going, I love you. Should be able to style that one out. No, it's a regular cat, this one. Not a rescue, just a regular one. Got a friend who's got a rescue. He's really annoying about it. Like, it's a good thing to do, but the way he talks about it, he's always going, oh, we've rescued. No, you didn't. You didn't go to Romania and conduct a strike, did you? You went like SEAL Teams 3, going, oh, yes, we found the dog. No. You know, like a charity will have done that. They were taking that animal from difficult circumstances to like a compound or a kennel in, say, Kent or somewhere like that, and then it would have been safe, happy, loved, and then from there, it's been taken from there to Bristol to live in a cul-de-sac with the world's most boring man. Is it a rescue if when you ask that animal, it would probably say, can I go back? No, he always goes, oh, we've rescued. And it's like, come on, man. We all know what rescue means. You got a free dog. It's a good thing to do, but that's the deal. You can either spend $2,000 to get one that's inbred, or get one for free that hates bins for some reason. He says all sorts of stuff. He goes, oh, no, we've got a street dog. We've got a street dog, that's what we've got. What does that mean? Is it going to release an EP? What? Doesn't mean anything. No. I think what irks me about my buddy, right, is he'll talk about this animal's suffering, right? It's a living creature that's had a difficult start. And he'll describe how he feels like he has brought it from that suffering. And the subtext of what he's saying is he's going like, aren't I great that this animal, because it's with me, is no longer suffering? I'm like, yeah, that's the minimum. Like, you're going, oh, aren't I great that I don't torture a dog? Every day I wake up thinking, God, I wish I could torture a dog today. Oh, but my morals hold me back. It's just not nice, is all I'm saying. It's a living creature. I think it deserves love rather than to be used like for my own mate's gain, right? I'm like, I get why he does it, but I don't know. It does bother me. He wouldn't talk about people that way, would you? Like, if I went round to my friends and he's adopted, and I'm like, oh, and I see the cradle there, and I'm like, oh my God, you've done something amazing. That's incredible. Well done to you and your partner. And really, really brilliant. He's there just going, yeah, crack baby, actually. Hate spins for some reason. Maybe that's not nice. Maybe I'm not being fair to my friend. That's partly because I've got a new hobby that makes me a bit more grumpy. I've taken up chronic pain. Cannot recommend it enough. It's a real conversation starter because I always mention it first. It's good. Sort of where I'm at is I've got a slip disc. I'm kind of like entry-level disabled. I looked it up. So I'm like flirting with the blue badge. Like one day I might fear no yellow line, but that's to come. Now, what I've got is I've got a slip disc, so I've got chronic pain. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. I'm fine now, you don't need to worry about me. But it means that I get pain all down the left leg, basically all the way down. It's to do with my nervous system messing me up. So like my general health is good, but I live with the pain. And that means the doctors take it very, very seriously because it's like sort of neurological. And the questions they ask are so invasive, man, because of the nature of the condition, right? They go in and the doctors will ask me stuff like, oh yes, Mr. Williamson, have you shat yourself lately? I go, no, I've not done that, thank you. They go, yes, very good. Are you able to ejaculate in appropriate contexts? And they go, yes, and inappropriate ones as well. Are you able to maintain an erection? I go, yes, I've managed 7 minutes so far. The questions are so personal, man, that I'm convinced if I was to open up that lab coat, it wouldn't be a doctor, it'd just be 3 5-year-old boys stacked on top of one another, seeing what words they can get me to say. Oh, yes, poo-poo, pee-pee, bum, cum, yes. Have I touched a boob? Well, yes, I have. Dr. Man. I think the question I asked the doctor is, the main thing I ask is, I go, well, why me? Why has this happened to me? Why do I have the old slip disc? It's a very common thing, the slip disc. A lot of people seem to know someone that's had a slip disc or had one themselves, which does beg the question, why are they making these discs? So goddamn slippy. Slipping and sliding around in there. I go, why me, Doc? Why me? He goes, oh, I'm a bigger guy. And I don't know whether that's because, like, I've got long back, like an extra vertebrate, like a snake. I imagine snakes, they get a lot of slip discs. But very few broken arms. Swings and roundabouts for a snake. Obviously things they can't use. No, I was like, why me? Because I am a big guy. I'm 104 kilograms. That's how heavy I am, which, pound for pound, does make me one of the least funny comedians in the UK. I think I'm good, but on a ratio basis, I'm screwed. But no, it's because I'm bigger. There's more pressure on me, and I think like because I'm a taller guy. I think short guys, they will talk about taller men enviously. They go, oh, I wish I was taller. And I'm here to say that it comes with some health complications. You're more at risk for lots of different things, one of which that I have. I have something that I was more likely to get because I'm big. I now look at short guys enviously. I see a short guy walking in the street and I go, whoa. I bet your discs are locked up. Tight like a CD wallet. They're not going anywhere. Nah, so I've had to do all sorts of exercise and stuff to help with the old slippery disc. That's what I've been recommended. One of the ones is Tai Chi. So looking up to do Tai Chi in my area is very good for what I've got. It's very gentle exercise. But all of the classes in my area that are Tai Chi, they're all run. I don't know if you've heard of this mafioso organisation. So you know these thugs. Have you heard of them? They're called Age UK. They're all the Tai Chi is run by them. Like I ring them and I go, yeah, hello, Age UK. Yeah, I've been recommended to do Tai Chi because of my doctor. I'm just wondering whether I can join one of your classes. And the response, when they find out my age, they go, oh, no, we're sorry, actually. We're worried the fact that you're a bit younger means you might make some of our older clientele, read all of our clientele, feel a bit nervous your presence. So we're worried that, we don't really want to let you in this class. And I was like, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm there to work through the condition that I've got. I'm not going to burst in, kick the door down and go, what up, you old fucks? Where my house is at? I'm trying to explain this to them. I get more and more frustrated and eventually I'm just like, come on guys, surely I fit your criteria. I'm both from the UK and have an age. I'm within your charity. Come on, I fit the brief. No, they were all right. They were like, oh, I would prefer it if you went elsewhere. So that's what I did. And I eventually found a class. It's great. I have to travel a little bit too, but it is me and older people. I'm all there because until recently, a lot of them had a fall. And Tai Chi is good to help with core stability. So it helps them be more stable on their feet. And look, to the credit of every single one of these people, since they've been going and the time that I've known them, they are much harder to push over. Gladys is like a mountain oak. She will not move. The other thing I've been recommended is I've been told to walk more. So I walk more. I walk around my hometown. I feel like I'm sort of trapped in like a little time capsule, just wandering around. I've got the same route that I do every day, across the same road, the same pelican crossing every single time. Do you know why they're called pelican crossings, by the way? There's a portmanteau. It's a combination of the starts of words. Pelican crossing stands for pedestrian light control. The first letters of each, pe-le-con. Isn't that the shittest fact you've ever heard? I was livid when my friend told me that. I was like, you've wasted my time and yours. I got a set amount of space in my brain, and now that is in there. I'm going to forget something now. Next week I'm going to be like, oh, fuck, I forgot to take the bins out. I'm going to know it's because of you. No, the crossing fact I like, though, my crossing is not a pelican crossing, but my crossing has got a secret little... Do you remember the crossing nipple? Underneath the crossings, right? There's a little... You've got the button, and then underneath there's got the crossing nipple. If you don't know about this, what it is, it's sort of like stalactite, sort of like nipple-like structure that's grooved, and then when it is safe to cross, yeah, you're miming it, you understand that, it's all right, you're getting into it, it's good. Some people don't believe me when I talk about this, so you're like, no, he speaks the truth. And when it is safe to cross, it will spin to allow someone that isn't able to hear or see via touch to know that the road is safe to cross. Or, if you're able-bodied, it's just a bit of fun. But a lot of people that know about this crossing nipple have a sub-belief. And that is the belief that if you twist this crossing nipple in the right way, you can somehow hack the traffic light. As if we weren't willing to let disabled people have that. Like, oh, why are these blind people always on time? I think that's the equivalent of like twisting that nipple. It's like the equivalent of making the traffic light come. That someone plausibly could be late to work one day and thinking, God, I'm running behind. Yeah, I guess I got to do it. And then the traffic light is just like, oh, you may go. That's the rudest traffic light joke you will ever hear. Now, I walk around my hometown on the same route, just walking around. I'm running into a lot of my old friends because I'm out more, and they think it's a coincidence. And they're like, oh, what are the chances? I'm like, quite a lot. I have to walk lots. This isn't as much of a chance as you think it is. But it means I am catching up with old friends sort of bit by bit, which is nice. I ran into a friend who I hadn't spoken to in ages. And she's so interesting, right? She now works in clinical trials. She conducts clinical trials. And I was telling her that when I was younger, it was something that I wanted to do. I thought it would be a good way to make a bit of money. Do the trials in the day, do comedy in the evening, make ends meet. It'd be perfect. I was like, oh, yeah. And I was telling her this. She goes, oh, how old would you have been? I was like, oh, early 20s, mid-20s. She goes, yeah, that's classic. Pretty much all of the people that want to do clinical trials are exclusively men around that age, overwhelmingly. And she's like, that's one of the reasons why men tend to get better healthcare outcomes, because the medicine is tested on men, therefore works better on men. I was like, oh my God, that's so interesting. I had no idea. Well, that's so weird. And I thought about it a bit more, like, it's not actually that weird, is it? If you were to ask a woman, do you want to have a disease injected into you for 2 weeks? They go, no, that's stupid. Because if you ask a guy, they're like, $2,000? Can I do it twice? Goot me up, dickhead, I'm in. What are the side effects? An extra dick? I love it. I've had to make all sorts of lifestyle changes because of the old slippery disc. That's what I've had to do. I've had to mix it up. One of the main consequences of what I have is I can't sit at a desk for a long period of time. That hurts too much. Like standing up, walking around, that's fine. But sitting at a desk, I find that very, very difficult. And comedy is a lot of admin doing this. It's a lot sending emails, doing all that. It's not all coke and boobies. It's mainly emails. Obviously, coke and boobies second. So because I can't sit at my desk anymore, I had a desktop, I had an old desktop. I needed to get a laptop. And it's quite an intimidating purchase for me to make because I'm unfortunately nowhere near as wealthy as I sound. So I wanted to make sure that I get it right. So I went into Curry's. I was like, I'm going to make sure I make the right purchase. I'm going to speak to someone because I was quite anxious about it because it was quite intimidating spending a lot of money when you feel a bit precarious in yourself. And I went to speak to a guy and he walked me through it and he's talking to me, what are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with that? And eventually he goes, what are you going to use it for? I go, work. And he goes, what do you do for a living? And I think it can be a bit weird when you say that you do comedy. People can be a bit strange. And I wasn't really sure whether I wanted to do it. But then I thought, actually, do you know what? I think about the traditions of comedy, like where it came from. And I think of like the bardic traditions that like people would go from town to town, trading their wit and their anecdotes for room and board. And that's how they would make their living, harkening back to the Middle Ages. That's the tradition from which this is born. And I thought, I can harken back as the bards did and use my wit to potentially get a 15% discount on a Lenovo Yoga. So I thought, right, game on. I go, here's a joke for you, buddy. Did you know thousands of badgers die on the road each year? Yeah. I don't know why we keep letting them drive. He laughed at that even less than you did. And there was a moment in his eyes where I clearly went from someone that was interesting to someone that was completely deluded. And he's like, what is this nut job doing? He lost all respect for me. And he's saying stuff like, oh, you'll probably be putting this in one of your stand-up routines, won't you? I was like, a trip to Curry's? How badly do you think my career is going? That I'm having to wander into hardware stores, making big purchases on the hope something hilarious might happen, just so I have something to talk about over the course of an hour. And that wasn't even the weirdest thing he said to me. The weirdest thing he said is, oh, as a stand-up comedian, you must love tragedy. You must love it. You must see something awful on the news and think, great, I can make some jokes about that. And I go, no, that's not my first instinct at all. I'm a human being first, a stand-up comedian second. If I see a tragedy, I am sad. That's the first thing that I feel. I don't feel good about that. But also, a peek behind the curtain. Even if I wanted to monetize that sort of stuff, it'd be difficult for me to get the jokes ready in time, articulate what I'm feeling in a way that I think is sensitive without the news cycle having moved on. It's cyclical, and then it will look like I'm just sort of out of date. Apart from 9/11, that's timeless. And he didn't laugh at that either. You like that one even less. I do wonder why it is that tragedy specifically that persists throughout our consciousness, because I barely have any memories of when it happened, but it feels like it is fully in there. Like when 9/11 happened, I was 6 at the time, or at least that's my alibi. But my favourite film trilogy of all time is The Lord of the Rings. My favourite film trilogy. I love it. It was all shot in the early 2000s and around that sort of time. And they were all filmed in one go, and then the release schedule was all locked in. All the titles were locked in. That was all sorted. And the film that came out most recently after that horrendous tragedy was the second film, called The Two Towers. I cannot believe they did not change that. But they didn't have any choice, it was locked in. And I think about Peter Jackson watching that horrendous tragedy unfurl on the news, seeing the plane hit the first tower and going, it's just the one, we should be fine. Oh, fuck! Oh, what are we going to call it, Smeagol's Journey? I appreciate that's a fucked up thing to say. I think my girlfriend thinks it's because I'm a little bit more morbid about things at the moment, because the pain. I think she thinks it makes me grumpier. She also thinks I have anxiety, which I don't know. I don't know whether I agree with that. That'd just be another thing to worry about. I think we just interpret my behaviour very, very differently. I think I over-masculinize it. I think that's fair to say. She came into a room that I was in one day, and she saw that I was very, very upset about something. She goes, oh, but I think you might be having a panic attack. And I go, no, I'm just strategizing. I'm in my war room with my generals, and we've all agreed that I've fucked it at dinner. And that I must nuke myself. I don't know. I don't think I have anxiety. I don't know. If you said like, oh, but if you had to say you have something, if you go, oh, everybody's got something, what is it you've got? Gun to your head, I probably would say anxiety. But that's only because I have a gun to my head. I get the impulse, though. Like a lot of my friends are going on these amazing mental health journeys. They're finding out more about themselves, getting these labels that help them understand themselves and communicate them to the world. And it's brilliant. All of my male friends are saying this stuff. I have like ADHD, autism, that's great. Very few of my male friends are saying that they have anxiety, which I think is quite interesting, because I think that's a more common thing. My male friends will gladly stand there and go, yeah, no, me, yeah, no. I've got the thing that makes me think really quickly and makes me really fun at parties and lets me get away with being late. Oh, me? No, I've got the thing that makes me orderly, dedicated, passionate, and lets me get away with being rude. And what about you? Well, I definitely don't have the thing that makes me a pussy. I do not. Don't you fucking dare tell anyone that. I will get you. I think it's because like think how people imagine anxiety, I think it comes out in men very, very differently. Like I think aggression is a response to anxiety. It's born of fear, right? That's the same thing. It is the same thing. It just looks different. Because I think men, they take it out as aggression rather than like, being worried or being more insular, right? The guy outside of Wetherspoons at 2 a.m. fighting strangers, I would put money on the fact that he has anxiety. Obviously, you can't tell him that. He will fight you. But no, I get it. Like it's the algorithm, right? Like you're online and you see yourself reflected at you, and it's great. Like a lot of my friends are going on these journeys prompted by being online, and a lot of them, they'll take it through the full diagnosis and get the stuff. Some of them will just leave it at that and they'll go online. Yeah, cool, that's enough for me. Self-diagnosed by TikTok, which great. I feel that is it's not quite what that app is for, is it? It's like being told you have herpes by Deliveroo. If it happens, get it checked out, but you should have questions. But no, it's potent, isn't it, online, social media? It reflects you back at yourself. It gives you an impression of who you are. Like in my 20s, the impression that social media gave me was very, very fun. It was great. It'd be like, oh, you're a fun guy, aren't you? You want to go to a party? Oh, there's a street party happening around near you. You should go there, mate. Oh, do you want some beers, mate? You're a fucking legend. Yeah, have some beers, mate. Go to this festival. You're great. But now I'm 30, it's more like, are you bald? You're bald, aren't you? And fat. You're fat and bald. No one's fucking you, are they, because you're so fat and bald? Probably got low testosterone, you fat, bald cuck. No one's wanking a fat, bald cuck like you, are they? No. That's why you need an AI girlfriend. With big digital honkers, that's what you need. The only person that'll fuck a fat old cunt like you is an AI girlfriend. That's the only person that'll wank you off. Also Huel. I look forward to the Huel ads. I'm like, oh, hello, old friend. Oh, finally relief. Well, I get it, right? Like, it's you reflected back at you. And I think that's as good a prompt as any to go on the journey. It's interesting. Like, I think stand-up in many ways is kind of like that simulation a little bit. Because people now, because of online, have started diagnosing me after gigs. Like, I've had multiple people come up to me after shows and go, oh, excuse me, I really, really enjoyed the show. Very autistic coded. I think you have autism. That's happened to me multiple occasions. Well, look, I know I have a vibe, but they'll come up to me, they'll go, oh, yeah, I think you're autistic. And I go, no, actually, I'm not. But I take it as a compliment. I'm like, I'm really glad that someone identified with what I do that much. I'm like, that's very flattering. Thank you so much. But I'm actually not autistic. And they go, no, you are. I go, no, I'm not. She goes, yes, you are. I go, no, I'm not. She goes, yes, you are. I go, I feel like you are now the one missing the social cue here. But I think I'm in an unusual space in that, like, I actually categorically know that I'm not autistic. I was very poorly behaved when I was a child. Like, very, very poorly behaved. And one of the first things they will look for is I got tested for Asperger's. Because they're like, why is he not following the rules? Why is he behaving in the way that he is? And that's why they did that. Basically, I spent the whole day with a child psychologist. They did all these tests, all these exams, and then it came back that I scored very lowly on the criteria that they were assessing me for. However, if you are trying to persuade someone that you don't have autism, the worst thing you can do is refer to a series of graphs that you own. Like, the more I protested, the more autistic I seemed. My favourite thing about that story, though, is not the diagnosis either way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything about me, whether I am or I'm not. I don't think it's particularly important to me personally, right? My favourite thing about that story, though, is the clinician, the specialist, coming in, speaking to the teacher, going, God, we're going to change this child's life, spending the day with me, and then having to go back and go, mate, I have no idea what the fuck that is. There's not a word in the English language that describes him. My God. No, I don't know. I don't know if it's helpful for me to think of myself in those terms. Like, oh, have anxiety, have this, have that. I don't know. I'm trying to be me, I think. I think there's a lot to be worried about. I don't think that necessarily needs a diagnosis. Like, I look at some of the stuff happening in the news, and I do feel worrisome. Of course I do. Like that horrendous attack in Liverpool, where that guy drove through the streets in that car, injured loads of people, and then as a result of that awful attack, the police then had to release the race of the perpetrator for fear that if they didn't, there would be more race riots in this country. Of course I worry about that. Does set an interesting precedent, though, now, because the police have done that. They need to continue to release the race of people that did it, which does mean if someone racially ambiguous committed a crime, there'd be lots of racists unsure whether they're mad about that. The police are there like, yeah, sort of Mediterranean bronze skin. And they're like, fuck, are we angry? Do we burn something or have a wank? I don't know. But I think in response to that, I think if you're worried and you're scared, I think you've got to try and take control of your own life and do the little things that you can. And I know that a lot of those guys in the streets when they were rioting, a lot of the people doing some of the stuff that they're doing will claim that they are patriots. And I do not think they are patriots. I think there's a word that people hide behind to do unkind things. So I am trying to be more patriotic so that these people can't hide behind that word. So I have that. And then all they're left with is their cruelty, right? I'll give you an example of how I'm trying to be more patriotic. For example, now, whenever I'm in a country lane, I will always do the national speed limit. Irrespective of whether it is appropriate. I am taking U-bends at 60, screaming, for the king! I am representing my nation on these lanes. But I think it's important that you do stuff like that, otherwise you leave it open. I do like where I'm from. You know, I don't always get on with it, but I like it. And I think you've got to say stuff like that, otherwise it's too much of a vacuum, and then the wrong people end up in that space. Like I do like this nation. I love that we're a weird coalition of all these different countries with all this ancient history. Like during the pandemic, I felt so lonely, so disconnected from everything else that identifying as part of something bigger than myself, that helped me. Like I remember the Queen owns all the Swans. That would cheer me up. I think, God, what a weird collection of peoples we are. That we've all agreed that nice old lady owns all the Swans. Obviously the vibe's different now the king owns the Swans. You just think, what's he doing with those swans? Why does he need all of them? Surely one only wants one swan. Do you know why it happened? Why it got outlawed? It's because in the Middle Ages, people are eating too many swans. Since I found that out, I have never more wanted to eat a swan. My God, they sound delicious. I think the swans know it as well. That's why they keep their distance from me. Now they know I've got the hunger. That's why swans are so cocky. That's why they come at you. They're like, I'll tell Daddy. That's why chickens are so humble. Geese so that crazy on their own terms. The astute among you will know actually the way that's specifically written into our law is the fact that it is basically how it works is all the swans are under the monarch's protection. It's not that they own them, so they're protected by the monarch, which does mean when the Queen passed all those years ago in Balmoral Castle, there had been a brief window where King Charles wouldn't have realised all the swan protecting duties had fallen to him, meaning nationwide those swans would have been vulnerable. They'd have been like sitting ducks, but bigger. But no, I want to do stuff like that. I want to celebrate where I'm from and try to take a little bit more agency in my life. Because some of the news I've been getting around my health hasn't been the most positive. I went for an MRI, and that was a very interesting process for me. It was quite intimidating. And I went in to get this big scan. What it is basically is it's this huge machine, big magnetic unit, that's what they called me. And you sit in it, you lie down, you go in it, and then it fires all these waves at you, and then it finds out what's inside and what's going on. And I go in there, and I'm there for 10 minutes, being as still as I possibly can be, hoping they will find out and give me some answers of what's happening. On the way out, I received probably one of my favourite compliments of all time. The nurse, he told me that I was one of the stillest men he had ever seen. This man's job is every day to watch scores of people be as still as they possibly can, as if their lives depend on it. And I am the best at that. I am the stilliest billiest. I'm the goat of being still. What a compliment. I will take that one to the grave. Where I will, of course, continue. Being very still. But what they found out the symptom, the slip disc is the symptom, not the cause. What I have degeneration of my lower lumbar, meaning that he described it as wear and tear, the doctor did. Like I'm a sofa on Gumtree. Used condition, yes, I'm living in it, mate. That's what's happening. But the reason, because it's pressing on the nervous system, if it gets worse, more of my nervous system will get exposed. And the reason the doctors are asking the questions about what's going on below the belt is because that is the bodily function that I stand to lose if what I have progresses. And I might end up incontinent. And that's quite a scary thing to be faced with, potentially. Because I think if I end up incontinent, I will have to quit doing comedy. I will. I think I'm very good, but I don't think I could come back from shitting myself. The writing is good, but the smell would be stronger. But I won't have comedy forever, whether I have this or not. So I'm trying to be trying to be a better person in myself, trying to work on me, trying to live a more virtuous life. That's why I'm not trying to react negatively to the stuff that I see. I'm trying to be better in myself. I am, I think, a more moral person than I have been in a while. Physically, my body might be at its worst. Morally, spiritually, I feel at my best. Like in my 20s, I think I didn't really know much of what was going on, and I didn't live in the way that I think I would choose to live now. I don't begrudge my younger self, but I'll give an example, right? My attitudes to porn, I think, are much better now. When I was younger, I didn't know porn was like ridiculous, made-up fantasies. Now I'm a bit older. I know a middle-class housewife would never, in any way, be grateful to a builder. He'd be lucky to get a cup of tea, let alone anal. But porn, it does perpetuate a lot of myths, doesn't it? Particularly around the female orgasm. Does it exist? Who knows? I'll believe it when I see it. But I'm thinking about it a little bit more, and now I know that porn is not the nicest to the women that are involved in it, right? A lot of them aren't having a good time being part of that process. And by watching it, to some degree, I feel a little bit complicit. I'm not judging my younger self for getting that wrong. But now that I know that, I want to do better. So I've tried changing my habits. For a while, I went cold turkey, but I hated fucking that. It was better warm, to be honest. But I found a solution now. Now I only watch porn that doesn't involve the exploitation of women at all. I only watch free range, organic, male gay porn. And look, as a straight guy, that is a difficult wank. But often the knowledge I'm doing a good thing is enough to bring me to completion. And of course, it feels great to support queer business owners as well. I do watch porn differently now that my back's gone. I watch it now in the way that a retired dad might watch the football. I used to be able to do that. Go deep, what are you doing? Go deep. I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to be a better me, because me is all you've got, right? So I am. I think I'm trying to work on my flaws. My biggest flaw is ego, of course it is. I'm prideful. If you disagree with me, look at how I'm lit and where I'm standing. That's the main thing I've got. And one of the ways that manifests is at board game nights, I'll be upset if I don't win. I don't flip the table, but I've had a worse time. And that's silly. That is silly. I'll tell my friends, God, I wish I could get over this. I don't know why I think like that. And they're like, yeah, but no, that is silly. It's all about the taking part. I'm like, fine then, let me win. You take part, I'll win. We can all get what we want. But how I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do stuff. I'm trying to play games that I can't attach my ego to. So I'm playing chess. That's what I'm doing. Playing chess online on chess.com. And I do that, and it's great because I suck at chess. I'm so bad. I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the aptitude. And I don't have a lifetime to learn it. I'll never be good at it. So all I can do is play this game without attaching ego to it and have fun doing it and be present in the moment. And the chess community online, they're so supportive. They'll send me messages like, kill yourself. And that's really nice. That makes me want to keep going. But one day I'm playing and someone sends me a message, and the message they send is they go, hi, how old are you? It's not shit talk. The first message is they go, hi, how old are you? Which is very creepy, right? I know that my granddad is on that app, as is my nephew, people of all age ranges, and I'm worried what if someone is on there for the worst possible reasons? What if they are trying to access a group of people that they otherwise should not be speaking to? My back is immediately up. I'm worried. I'm thinking, oh my God, what is going on? But I also didn't want to admit that I'm a 30-year-old man that is as bad at chess as I am. You understand my dilemma. I need to choose an age that is low enough that it's not humiliating to admit that that's where I'm at with chess, but high enough that it's comfortably out of what I would describe as the nonceable range. I settled on 19. I thought I was bang on. And I reply, I'm 19, full stop. I don't want to know what their age is. It's a weird line of inquiry. I'm like, let's leave that one dead. They immediately reply with, oh, great, I'm 12. And I was like, oh, fuck. I am now doing the thing that I was worried was happening. I have lied to a 12-year-old boy on the internet to seem younger. And I'm freaking out at this point because he's asking me stuff a 19-year-old would know. I'm 30, I've got no idea. He's going, oh, do you like Mr. Beast? I'm in deep cover going, yeah, I love the Gruffalo. But I finish the game, I get out, I think, thank God it's over, but it's not over. This person sends me a friend request, and then they keep messaging me. I'm like, my God, this isn't going to end. And it's online, so I'm imagining these chat logs being read out to me in court. Me having to defend myself, going, oh no, I'm sorry, Your Honour, he practically groomed himself. But then I think about why I'm even playing this game in the first place. Right, I'm trying to work on my ego, trying to be more present. And my ego's got in the way. I've lied, I've deceived someone. So I'm like, right, for my own sake, as well as the strangers, I've got to tell the truth. That's the only way this will end. So I decide to tell the truth. I reply, he's messaging me, I go, look man, I'm really sorry. I actually lied about my age because I'm pretty insecure with where I'm at with chess right now. And I didn't mean to mislead you. I'm sorry about that. Really enjoyed our game and I wish you all the best on your chess journey. Then he replied with, oh, no, don't worry, mate. I'm actually 43. I was like, really? Because you are shit at chess. Kill yourself. I think it's fair to say that this has been an odd year for me. I think you could look at the ingredients of the year and you could go, oh yeah, like what's happened? I'm living in my hometown. My health is the worst that it's ever been. And I don't really know where I'm going in my career at the moment. You could look at that and you'd go, God, what is happening to my life? And there are days where I get worried and that maybe the pain is worse and, it varied. But whenever it feels like it's too much, I feel like I can't cope, that I don't feel like I have what it takes, I just have a panini. And I remember that I'm all right.